Welcome to this third quarter Q&A for Inify Laboratories with the CEO Fredrik Palm. Fredrik, a lot of exciting things are happening at Inify at the moment. You're among others moving into the UK market. Why is that?
The market is 6 times bigger than Sweden, and they are facing extensive challenges with long waiting times and varying quality. The healthcare system in the United Kingdom has a lot of similarities with the structure in Sweden as well. So I think that is a few parameters which is a good starting point for Inify. In addition to that, the national healthcare system, NHS, in the United Kingdom has a high focus on pathways for patients that are going through a cancer investigations. And that is exactly where we provide unique value. So I think stars are aligned for a successful establishment in the market.
So what are the key factors to succeed in the UK market?
Building a local proof of concept with selected clinics and hospitals is an important start. This in parallel with driving a dialogue with NHS with the aim, of course, to provide our services on a national level. We have established a good dialogue both with private clinics and NHS, and this has been important milestones for the decision to establish ourselves in the UK.
So how long is it until you are operational in the UK?
We estimate to open the lab in the UK early in 2026, but in parallel we will be able to handle patient cases from the United Kingdom in this laboratory here in Sweden.
So is it the plug and play of the Swedish operations?
Scalability has been in the core of Inify since the start. The setup here in Sweden is documented according to a systems engineering principle. So it's just about setting it up at a larger scale. One can say that when we built this laboratory, we created a recipe. Now we are going to use the same recipe, but at a larger scale in the UK.
So how many samples will you be able to handle in this new laboratory?
We will take height for a volume of roughly 100,000 patients per year, which corresponds to about 80% of the total market for prostate cancer diagnostics in the UK.
And in Sweden, how many samples are you able to handle there?
About 25 to 30,000 patients can be handled in this laboratory per year, which is way more than the entire Sweden's market, so to say. But in the UK then, we will set up a laboratory that can handle 3 times as much.
So how much of the Swedish market goes through Inify now?
We estimate that about 10% of the total market in Sweden are running through this laboratory today, which is a market share that we are extremely proud of after less than a year since we got the accreditation as a medical laboratory.
And here in Stockholm, we're talking about 80%, aren't we?
Yes, we are talking about 80%, so we estimate that we are running the absolute majority of all the prostate cancer diagnostics here in Stockholm.
But the revenue, it fell in the third quarter. Why is that?
It's because much fewer patients are going for testing in the holiday period, mainly July and August. Some clinics are closing for a few weeks and some clinics are operating at a lower capacity. In addition to that, new customers are generally not onboarded in that particular quarter. So this is perfect in line with our expectations, and we foresee that we will return to our growth path in the upcoming quarters.
You're not just expanding geographically, but you're also expanding into new diagnostics. Tell us a bit about that.
We are designed for scalability geographically as well as adding other high-volume diagnostics. This has been in the plan since the start of the company, and we are now moving from research phase into development phase to prepare for an expansion of adding new diagnostic services.
Why gastrointestinal diagnostics?
It is a huge diagnostic burden on the pathology laboratories around the world, and long waiting times and varying quality is a challenge here as well. We are designed for high volume and high quality diagnostics. So it is an area where we truly can add significant value both for clinics and for their patients.
So how big is the market?
It is about 10 times more tissue samples if you compare to prostate, and the range of medical conditions are wider. So we estimate the market to totally be even bigger than prostate market.
Expansion, it costs. So how are you going to finance this, Fredrik?
We are planning for a share issue of 150 million Swedish crowns. This is to finance the strategic expansion as well as fueling the working capital for the company.
Is this capital raise guaranteed?
There are no guarantees since we are in the planning phase at this point. However, I would like to stress that we feel very much supported by our major shareholders.